What's up, guys? Jeremy Conn here with you. It is the Lowdown. It's all brought to you by Pickdawgz.com. Appreciate you guys checking this out. Click the like and subscribe button, please. That will help us out. And if you click the notification button, it'll let you know anytime one of these gets posted. Didn't have a great night last night. I swept hockey again. I got swept in college football, lost both games. NBA, depending on when you got the Bulls over, like on the site, I got it at 249, so it's technically a winner for me. But it always makes me feel weird. Like when I went on the morning show, by the time I got on there, it was 250. But as I say, I always put my plays out like super early. So I know sometimes I'm going to get the better number. There will be times where I get screwed, and things like that happen. There was another interesting thing that happened today, and I ended up being on Missouri as a play. I gave it out yesterday as a lean, but I thought Pavula was out for the year. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, he's going to play. When did that happen? So I guess I totally missed something there. But the fact that he's back, if you got it early, you probably got it at a better line. But it's a perfect spot for a letdown for Oklahoma, at least in my opinion. So I'll gladly grab those points. But going back to yesterday, or what did I say, Friday night, I missed on the Pacers game. Looked like it was going to shoot out, and then nope. What else? I had college hoops. I pushed on the Iona over at 171. What a bitch. And then the other college basketball game, I had Wisconsin plus the points, and BYU just hammered them in the afternoon. So screw me. Man, this BYU team, I like them. We'll see how long it takes them to kind of really put everything together. Before I get into some of the other stuff, I do want to talk about the concrete Inner Circle. If you text Inner Circle to the number that you see there, you can find out about my rated system that we have. We do it on Telegram. And basically, I'll tell you where and how much I like these games. Like, is this a 10-unit play? Is this a 2-unit play? Whatever. I might have a day where there's 3 10-unit plays and I feel great about them. I mean, I'm still doing this stuff on the premium side, so you guys can check that out. But if you like making big bets, I think this is for you. And we've had a lot of success, especially this week, in hitting top plays. I mean, I talked about Thursday and how great it was with the prop plays and everything else. Hockey has been, I started off 1-4 in hockey, and now I'm hitting it 60%, and I'm up near the top of the leaderboard, and I'm just going to keep, I said this at the beginning of the year, and I try not to, it's the right word. I mean, hopefully you guys pick up on this. I try not to be too full of myself and think that, talk braggadocious about things like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to happen. There are some times that you like things, but I know what I've been capable of in handicapping. I came in the middle of the season in baseball. I've always thought baseball was my best sport. I started off the month of July amazing, and then I hit this 3 to 4 week. It was right when I was having my surgery where I just totally shit the bed, and it's pissing me off because I'm working in the hospital. I had my throat surgery. I'm working in the hospital, typing stuff up the day that I get out of surgery, literally with my laptop and just typing up my plays. And I think it was pissing me off even more when I was missing them. It wasn't like I put any less work. I mean, all I had was time on my hands with that surgery. But, so when at the beginning of the season, when I talked about the NFL and my concrete best bet, and that I've had one losing season, and it is kind of funny. It's not funny, but it's ironic, I guess, that the first losing season I had is when I first launched my own business of selling picks. And it's like, you have got to be shitting me. I rattle off, 19 straight years of winning and having a winning record with this, and then I come in and have this year. So it's nice to be back on the winning side. I'm a couple of games above 500 now, and just going to keep stacking. Stack, keep that thing going, and see where we finish. So I still think we're definitely going to finish with a winning record. So with that side of it, with the concrete best bet, which that plays up if you want to get it, I love it today. I've given some explanations on why I love that play. It's the absolute right spot for Sunday. Now, with some of the other things that we've done in talking about the other sports, I'm really upset with the way I started in the NBA and college hoops. So anytime you dig yourself a hole, you got to be, I don't want to say otherworldly, but you have to be even better to kind of get back into where you want to be. And it's nice when you can say, hey, yeah, if you go over this past month, I've hit this. And I did that with my prop bets in baseball. Like my baseball prop bets in the playoffs and World Series, hell, even my NFL prop bets and the college prop bet, I am hitting at an amazing clip, and I don't even know what it is. I haven't even kept track of it because I gave everything out for free. But I do know the other week we went 13-1 This past week, I had my first losing night on Monday where I went 1-3 and I lost by a half a reception and 1 yard. And then come back 3-1 on Thursday night and a bunch of props for Saturday. I gave a few out on the podcast yesterday. And then, some NFL props, which I'm going to throw one in here. It'll be a freemium for me when we get to the Jets in Baltimore. And some of these games, I like all of these games. Now, I'm going to be on a couple of them, so feel free to play them. I would bet all of these games that I'm going to give out. And I'm trying to see. My prop plays are freemium, but my prop plays are always free. The New England-Cincy game that I'm going to talk about, that's a play for me. Atlanta-New Orleans, a play for me. I did not bet Las Vegas and Cleveland, but I wanted to talk about it because I think I might end up betting it when all's said and done tomorrow. But to talk about what I liked on Saturday, you guys heard me talk a little bit about it. Here we go. I was on SMU, Cincinnati, the Florida-Tennessee over, the Pitt-Georgia Tech over. I thought Pitt was going to knock off Georgia Tech. I'm still sitting here kind of kicking myself thinking I should have bet Pitt. I thought the over was the better side. I liked both. I liked Oregon, Tulane Temple under, Missouri, we just talked about that, and Texas San Antonio plus the points. I was on Southern Miss and North Florida over their total in college hoops. I like the Bulls and Wiz to go over their number at 243.5. And my NHL play to continue this heater that I've absolutely been on, New Jersey and Philadelphia under 5.5. So let's talk a little bit about the NFL games and run through this. I'm going to start off with the Jets at Baltimore. The Ravens are favored by 13.5. I see 44.5 as the total. What I'm going to tell you here is I don't like betting double-digit favorites in the NFL. If you force me to pick one of these big numbers this week, I'm taking the Ravens to come home. And I always say MC Hammer, puffy pants game. You guys, it's hammer time. They hammer them. And that's what the Ravens do to bad teams specifically. Tyrod Taylor's going to start this game. The thing I love about this is that we just had a game in Cleveland, just had a game in Minnesota where Lamar did not perform well. And people are like, oh, is the offense okay? And this is after he threw, 4 touchdown passes against the Dolphins or just looked amazing against the Dolphins. And then you face 2 defenses. Both of them are really good. One is the most blitz-heavy defense you're going to see. And factually, the Ravens' offensive line is not good. It is weird looking at Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen getting sacked this much. And, I'm going to sound biased here because I love Josh Allen, but he took 8 sacks on Thursday night. He's got one of the best offensive lines in football. How are you getting sacked so much? And then, they didn't grade out well Thursday, so don't get it twisted. But, he's been getting sacked way more than he should. He's holding on to the ball, trying to make big plays. And I think when you try to tell somebody they're Superman, they try to be Superman all the time, and sometimes you don't have to be. But that being said, Josh Allen's amazing. I'm not knocking him. I do think that a lot of this is on him. Whereas on the flip side with Lamar, yes, he's holding onto the ball too long. But against Minnesota, he had 2 plays in the entire game where he had at least 3 seconds to throw from the pocket. That does not include him rolling out and running out and creating more time. But when you're in the pocket, that's basically I have a chance to make one read, maybe look at the second. Do I have time to get that throw off as you're dropping back? And they still won that game, but it was ugly. The thing that I love about this game is Lamar Jackson throwing over 1.5 touchdown passes. All the talk that's been going on here in Baltimore, he's going to come out, and I think he definitely throws a couple. I think Isaiah Likely gets in the end zone. There was a lot of talk in Baltimore about getting him more involved. So if you want to take a little flyer on an anytime touchdown there too, I do like Isaiah Likely, and I would take him over his yardage with all the conversation that's been going on because he's the tight end that they're going to pay. The Ravens at the end of the year have no tight ends on the roster. They're all coming up as free agents. And I don't see them bringing Mark Andrews back when they have to pay all these other guys. Isaiah Likely is the young guy that they want to bring in, and he's a freak of nature. I think he has a chance to be one of the best tight ends in football. I don't know how much his foot injury is hampering him. He hasn't looked the same. He didn't get a preseason or basically a training camp after what we thought was going to be a Liz Frank injury. But we'll see. I just think he has a bigger game, but I do love Lamar Jackson over 1.5 touchdown passes in that matchup. Let's go to New England and Cincinnati. New England's favored by 7, 47.5. Cincinnati still has, let me check, the worst defense I've ever seen in the NFL. New England has what people are calling the best deep ball thrower in football, and the spread is 7. Now, look, it doesn't mean Cincy's offense is trash, but remember, Jamar Chase isn't playing in this game either, and the spread is 7. One team looks like maybe the worst team in football, especially on defense. The other team has just been, they went down to Tampa Bay and won. They beat the Bills. They've just been rattling off win after win after win. I'm taking the over here, and I'm just telling you, I think that line stinks even at a touchdown. I think New England should be like a double-digit favorite over these guys. For some reason, I think Cincinnati hangs around in this game, and if I think they hang, I know New England's scoring. I mean, Cincinnati's defense isn't stopping them. I think the smarter plays the over and just hammering that, watching these two teams go up and down the field. And yes, I know Jamar Chase isn't there. There's still a decent amount of options, and if game flow goes correctly, you could see some dinking and dunking and some BS touchdowns in the fourth quarter. But either way, I'm taking the over here. It'll be another freemium. Let's move on to Cleveland and Las Vegas. As I stated, this is the one game I don't have a play on. I am betting Lamar over 1.5 TD passes. I am betting the over in New England Cincy, and I will be betting the final game I give you. Cleveland, Las Vegas, 36.5 is the total. Las Vegas favored by 3.5. I'm going to tell you, I think Vegas is the right side. Full disclosure, I didn't get the Shedeur Sanders love. I still don't get it. He's the one guy that's getting blackballed from the league because his dad's too hard to deal with and all this other nonsense. No, you're the same guy that showed up to meetings with teams and were FaceTiming with other people while they're meeting you. You're the same guy that went into the locker room at halftime of a game. You guys were winning by 4 touchdowns, jumped on Instagram to talk trash, and then Stanford came back and beat your ass. I've watched him play so many times, and against inferior opponents, he looked amazing. Against some of the top-notch teams, it's like he takes a lot of sacks. He doesn't run a lot. When you're watching him out there, if you watch him as soon as he came into the Ravens game, I mean, he took an 18-yard sack running backwards. You're not going to get away with that in the NFL. It's just not going to happen. And I don't think he has the athleticism and speed to be one of those guys that's going to be running backwards that far to try to make a play. All that being said, people have called me a hater when it comes to Shedeur Sanders because I hate Deion Sanders. I had an incident with him personally at the Super Bowl, and he's a douchebag. He made a scene. So I'll just tell you this. With our radio station, I was there. I was producing the Anita Marks show and kind of like a co-host as well. So was Mark Zinno. Mark Zinno was at that Super Bowl, the guy that's here with us. And they asked me, what I was doing is, because I have a good eye for recognizing people, I was running and grabbing guests. And we had John Ogden, who's the Ravens left tackle, with us. And he asked me to go get Deion because he had just finished playing with the Ravens and he's working for NFL Network. So I run over to the NFL Network and I talked to one of their PR people and I said, hey, I've got John Ogden over here. He asked me to come get Deion Sanders. I'm in Baltimore. Any chance you can ask him if he'd come over? Deion walks over and he goes, J.O. asked? And I said, yeah, J.O. asked if you'd come over. And he goes, if J.O. ain't there, I ain't doing your effing show. I said, okay, I'm telling you J.O.'s there. What, you think I'm going to walk you over there and he's not going to be there? He goes, well, if he ain't, I'm not doing your effing show. Then we went for about a 60-yard walk where he said over and over and over, if J.O. ain't there, I ain't doing your effing show. And I turned around, as soon as we got to the station, or the area where we were set up, I gave him here he is. Yeah, you're lucky. How am I, what? He went out of his way to be an asshole, and I'm sorry, some people go, oh, okay, you had a bad time at the Super Bowl, and Deion was being Deion. F him, man. That guy's so full of it. But it doesn't lead me to hate his son. I just think he's vastly overrated. Did I think he should have been picked in the 5th round? No, I thought he was going to go higher. But to think that all these teams got together and blackballed him, and then he got picked up by the Browns, hell, the story even came out that the Ravens called and said, hey, we're getting ready to draft you. And he said, don't. He didn't want to come. Again, you haven't done anything. And I understand, having a chance to prove where you want to go. I didn't like what Eli Manning did when he held out and was supposed to go to the Chargers and ends up with the Giants. I didn't like that. But I understood it more because you're talking about the number 1 overall pick in the draft or who's going to be one. You're making decisions in the 5th round. Look, I don't want to get on this rant. Jay and I are going to end up arguing about Shedeur. I think the Raiders win this game. I'm not knocking Shedeur for his performance last week because it's incredibly difficult to get thrown into a game where you haven't practiced at all and come in and play with these guys. You haven't even played with them. So, yeah, you need to throw that out with the baby water. The people that are trying to defend him, stop. He had a horrible performance. He was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league this past week, but he was put in the worst possible situation. He did come in the game with a lead, and then they lost that. Turnovers, bad decisions. We'll see what he looks like. And I thought Zinno made a great point about this. It's are we sure he's not going to go to Las Vegas and live it up and go out and do what CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens did, thrown up in the lobby after spending all night? Well, they denied that, but that's why they were suspended for that first drive of Monday Night Football. I'm hoping for his sake that it's a light, easy night and he's ready to play. And, if he is good enough, he goes out and showcases himself. I just don't see it. I think Max Crosby and this Raiders defense isn't great, but I think they introduce himself to him. And to try to pick up your first road win in the NFL, I don't like it. So give me Vegas minus the 3.5. God, that total is ugly at 36.5. All right, last play here, guys. Atlanta at New Orleans. New Orleans -2. The Saints total here is 43.5. I am on the Saints. It is a vomit play. But again, I'll go back to this. What has Atlanta showed you to say that you should bet on them anytime they go on the road? I mean, anytime. Like, they're not. I mean, they had the one game where, was it Buffalo, where they missed the extra point? And I think I called the upset there, and I was pissed that they missed it. But they were getting, 3.5 points? So I was glad it didn't go to overtime because I didn't want the touchdown to lose it. Anyway, but this Atlanta team, and look, with Kirk Cousins, the offense is going to look a lot different. I just think New Orleans at home, I like Tyler Shock to go over his, I think it's like 198.5 passing yards. But I like the Saints here. I think they win and cover. That'll be a freemium for me. All right, guys, make sure you're checking out Pickdawgz.com. I got all my NFL plays up. They've been up since, I think, Thursday. My best bet, which, as I said to people, I've hit 2 in a row now. I would definitely go get this. I think it's a great play today. Can't wait to talk about it on Monday to see how things went. But that being said, everything's up, and I have a ton of NFL games, some totals, and I will throw in some prop plays and stuff like that, as I always do. So appreciate you guys watching this. Check out Pickdawgz.com. I hope you win some cash. I'll see you tomorrow.